Hey everyone, Waddler-D. We're back for more Kirby's Dream Land 2 Deluxe for the Nintendo Game Boy. I guess it's color in this case, but it's been a very stressful month for me, but thankfully there's been a bit of a reprieve because I actually got my air conditioning back, and more to the point, I'm going to be recording a whole ton of videos before I get back into the swing of things, but got Kirby back in the saddle, and thank goodness too, because I wanted to play more of this game and show it off. But more to the point, Cloudy Park apparently has one-eyed monsters, owls to help you out, and a fish that wants to eat Kirby again. What the hell is up with Kine and his diet lately? But I really do like what Cloudy Park's trying to present here. It's trying to present this first-time volcano action, which unfortunately will not be the main part of the thing. KKZero, can you explain what's going on with this corner here? Like, I can kind of understand that palettes can be kind of janky, but nevertheless, let's start off with Cloudy Park and realize that it's basically Bubbly Clouds 2.0. I mean, it's fine and dandy, but to be fair, you've kind of want to get away from something that's been done to death, and Cloudy Park honestly is the last thing I want to see in a game because it brought a bit of pain and misery, but it also brings some nice balancing acts on the maximum tomatoes, and it also brings some challenges that the game developers really want to throw at you lately, like Gordos on updrafts, and get used to this updraft thing because Cloudy Park is all about blowing you all over the place, bullying you with wind alone. But thankfully, at this point, you'll know exactly what to do with it, and what to do with any ability and partner that comes your way, because the game's pretty much near done. Like, we've gotten through all the challenges, we dealt with auto-scrolling. Now we can understand some abilities are just better than others, and frickin' Cutter, do not let this get out of your sights if you see it. I mean, it's a damn good ability, and ooh, you're gonna make this section a little bit too easy for me. Just to make things a little bit fair for the game, is I'm going to make sure to not stick to one partner and one partner only. But Ku here is a great ally, because look at all the platforming you're gonna have to put up with, and Ku can just fly over all this stuff. Not to mention this dick move from the developers. Like, you see all these little clouds, you're thinking, oh, this is fine. And then you see that door doesn't have a floor beneath it. So if you're not with Ku, or you're not ready to deal with that door just popping out of nowhere, you might be a little concerned when you drop down and realize you're not pressing up at the right time. And of course, here's more of the updrafts, but since Ku can totally abolish this whole matter of wind pushing him around, you should be fine. But when you don't have him, you're going to be using these to get up here. Nice free maximum tomato. Unfortunately for me, Ku is probably the worst animal buddy for this next stage, at least to start, because stage 2 of this damn... I just realized there's like 6 doors, by the way, but stage 2 is not my favorite stage for a good damn reason, and it's one that's gonna start throwing you for a loop, because you see this guy, you're gonna need him. You're going to actually need ice, because there's a bit of a gimmick here, and you see this? Yeah, ice blocks. This is the first time in the game where you're forced to collect the power-up, because... and there's a good damn reason behind it, because you know the developers have something tricky up their sleeves, and here's the dumbest part about this situation. They knew exactly what character would not be able to get into this door, and there's a good reason for that. So we're gonna have to drop Ku, unfortunately. And we're gonna have to go straight to Kirby, and then understand exactly why the developers made you drop Ku. It's an understandable reason, but damn. And of course, if you haven't gotten tired of this gimmick of the updraft pipes, they are all over the place. So this is the door that you need to keep in mind of, because you have an idea of what you need to do here. Is, yeah, I see this little water current and pushing me away from the door. And then we have another door on the right that pretty much gets you out of this area, but you also have to deal with Blocky. We haven't really talked about Blocky because he's kind of the embodiment of stone. It's not a very good thing to have on hand. I do like that he's smart enough to turn around when he charges towards you, and that stone somehow smacked me upside the face, but once you start realizing that this guy's kicking my ass, and more to the point that he plays much like a Kirby player online in Smash Brothers, not too bad. But unfortunately, just because we got Rick in our possession means we are still totally screwed. What, you want a piece of me? Come on. Oh, you're getting impatient. Well, you know what? Eat that. See that? We don't have Spark. And we have Rick. But, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is the Rainbow Drop session, and you'll see it very much so once you realize, oh, this game really hates hamsters, so that just pushes you off to the far left of the screen. And then you realize, I don't have Cutter. And it's like, what the hell is going on with this stage? And that's what I'll discuss later on, but for right now, this stage can be a very quick run-through, honestly. All you just need to do is head left and boom, you're done. But that's exactly what Stage 2 is all about. It's a big, massive puzzle of BS. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with it yet, but now we have to deal with Rick and his wonderful self as we have to oh, God. What? That is unfair, game. Freaking having Waddle-D surround me like that. Funny. Then usually there's a Waddle-D that shows up, and then when you have the bridge collapse under them, that's usually what happens. I would love to take this with me back in the last stage, but one enemy that I have to discuss, these frogs are probably the worst enemy in the game. Like, in terms of just being god-awfully persistent and annoying, because when you get in the water with someone other than Kirby or Kine, these guys become a lethal bullet for your cause, because they will just magically home onto you, and then when they throw like a ton of them at you, you're just gonna have to defend yourself for the love of God. But they're my least favorite enemies in this game, mainly because of the situations that the developers put you in, and the snarkiness of just them like hunting you down once they see your face. This room sucks, by the way. This room is what I say the developers have basically devolved into at some point, where they decide, you know what would be great? A room where you just keep going around in the circle because you just keep getting bullied by the wind. And it's really freaking annoying. I mean, yeah, sure, it's fine until you realize you made a complete circle twice over, and you have to basically make sure to take care of these walls. But if you're big old Rick, this room becomes a little bit more frustrating, because you're going to have to deal with all this. The fact that you can't sneak through the small gaps. You know what? We'll need you real quick. In fact, let's see how this works. Wow, okay. That kind of works better. So this might be the power for you if you're in a situation until you get pushed against a far wall. Man, this room can go to hell. Like, whoever thought this room was like a fun-filled adventure should probably get Okay, let's get the hell out of this stupid room. Thank you. And then I can just drop down here and crush everything. Excellent. Perfect job, Rick. And if you're not done with this little whole gimmick, now we have the collapsible clouds, or crumbling clouds, I would like to call them, being a bit of a nuisance here, where you have to realize I trapped Rick. Good move, game. That's really clever. The fact that the game puts that kind of thing upon your conscience where it's like, I could have taken Rick to the end, but no. I'm too busy doing Stone having a damn good old time and realizing Rick is now gone. Thank goodness Stone is like is actually a pretty decent ability. Though I just have to wonder, what in your eyes, which is the best and worst ability for each character? For Animal Buddy and Kirby. Like, I'm curious. You've seen all of them. You experienced all of them, maybe except Needle, but who cares about Needle? And it just makes me wonder, like, what are your preferences when you're playing through this game? Or is it the same as what I'm thinking? Hard to say, but Stage 4 is definitely reminding me of freaking Bubbly Clouds. I mean, we got ruins, we got clouds, we got cannons, and this eel guy decides to ruin that whole majesty of the floating ruins. Oh, right, I forgot. This is a nice showcase of Mumblies being, I don't know, an obstacle, but at the same time, they're not really that threatening. If you do not have a star shot in your mouth ready for them, you can at least air puff them to death. Alright, these guys are gladly trying to kill me. Okay, these caboos are getting really crafty with their positioning here. Let me guess, more caboos? Yep. X. Yeah, just mind your head as you're going through these ruins, because this is probably one of the longest screens in the game, it feels like. I mean... Oh, hi, Captain Stitch. It's good to see you again. Charge attack, good. Perfect. That's actually what I want to see, because charge attack is basically when this guy is the most open. Otherwise, you're going to have to deal with needles. Could have given me a chance, bud. Charge attack, great. I will say, though, Captain Stitch, definitely somebody I wouldn't mind seeing back in another Kirby game. I mean, he's a very interesting mini-boss. Like, the fact that he's one of the few to... Why'd I inhale Needle, and why... I mean, this is fine. I'm glad we got Coup, but of course you have auto-scroller to surprise you just in case. Thankfully, this is just a flying exercise for the lovable bird, and more to the point, stay still. Do not go for the door as soon as you see it. Oh shit, this is actually terrible. Coup underwater is the last thing you want on the earth. Like, this is thankfully a breeze compared to future episodes, and that was not necessary. And this is the main reason why I was glad to see Coup, because this room without Coup is just a crying exercise, because you're going to have to deal with the fact that you can't get any abilities, and why the heck did I get the worst ability in the game for this bird? See if I can get something a little bit more kosher, but I'm noticing that they're just giving Coup, like, some of the worst abilities to start. Wait, this might be more promising over here, and... Yes, there we go, that's what I'm talking about. Come here. Please give me... That's mean, game. The fact that you could have given me... Okay, you know what? Screw you. I want Cutter, damn it. Cutter is the main reason why I want... There we go. This is much better. So this room here, as you can see, is probably the greatest room in the game if you have a flying bird to help you out, because this room has the most goodies out of any room in the game. This may as well just be called the HAL room minus. If there is actually a HAL room, can you tell me where the hell that thing is, by the way? But this room has so many goodies, but you can only appreciate them if you have a flying bird, because he's the only one that can fight the current. And as you can see, if you're up here, yeah, look at all these easy-ass extra lives collect. And while this is a great place to grind for extra lives, there is actually a better level for this, or better stage, that will give you even more lives. Good, good. Even more lives, by the way. However, you gotta beat this level first to actually witness that, but it's really damn good once you see it. But now we have Collapsible Cloudland. This is a place that's very bad for anybody involved. Like, even when I have Coup here to lessen the pressure of not making it through this mess, Because if you basically are too slow, there's a death pit right at the bottom to help you out. Good job showing it out, Broomhatter. But if you do have a partner that can fly, this room kind of loses its pressure a bit, and if you're using Kirby, obviously you're fine, but damn, even if you're up here when you have clouds, you have to deal with the falling action, and I don't know how I feel about this particular room. I think the biggest offense of this room is layout. Like, you're just basically slowly lumbering through this maze of clouds, and it's more like an up and down kind of action here at some point, not to mention the whole left and right before. It's kind of disappointing. Like, they could have done something cool with this, but no, they just force you through a gauntlet of collapsibility. And I feel this is a kind of a nice insinuation that maybe the developers' constitution and level design has collapsed a little bit, because, you know, you could have done something a little bit cooler. Granted, they kinda do. You know what, Koo? I'm gonna actually show off this room as it should have been showed off, and now I'm regretting my decision, because now you have to deal with wind pushing you back. So this is more of a short hop room. This is where you would learn how to play Smash Brothers in the older, like, just at all, because you have to short hop over those guys, maybe consider running under that guy, and then you have collapsible bridges that, with Waddle-Dees trying to play the troll. Thankfully, if you're... Oh, crap. Yeah. Be careful in jumping. Don't jump. Because otherwise you're going to have to retread, or if you were Rick or Kine... See that Waddle-Dee? That was exactly what would happen. Oh, crap. This is the thing I'm talking about. This room right here... This is what happens when you give developers the power of Super Mario Maker 2 and people loving to make those levels that just have doors that lead to really terrible situations. This is the worst room for your partner, as you can see, because those things would become near invincible until your partner's dead. And it's like, well, shit. The only thing that would help you survive that mess is an ice power, and you won't get an ice power before this entire room. Then you got Mumbies, just to remind you that you have air puffing power. And then you have Scarfy Room, which... not fun, especially when everything... Oh, you do not do this to me. Please go away. Yeah, this is not a fun room to drop yourself in, but thankfully, you have two good rooms to consider. You have this one room, number 4, takes you to a room full of stars, which is always pleasant. And then you have the actual room you want to go into, which is full of pep brews to apologize for this BS shenanigans that the game decided to just wing at your way. Like, the whole fact that the game's like, you know what would be great? Let's stick you in a room full of propeller bombs and then... Oh, no, that's actually a terrible idea. Here's an apology letter in the form of... I guess I want to say soda. It better be soda, Kirby. I don't want you being all drunk on this game now. Didn't we actually consider the volcano in the whole matter of things? And I am loving the fact that this ability is so damn good against bosses. So, highly suggest you use Cutter, for the love of God. And in this case, Spark is actually a good thing, because for one, you get a partner, and good, it's Koo. Thank God. I need him. Not to mention, Koo makes this room hilarious. You just hold the B button, and things just happen until you hit a wall. That pretty much jams you into a corner. But Koo is great for this section, mainly because, well, you get to fight against the wind, do all that you can, get all the stars, and of course deal with yet another particular section where the wind gets abused. Like, I'm pretty sure the ozone layer is starting to protest all of this frickin' blowing around shenanigans. I don't know if that makes sense, but jeez, please give me a break, game. Thankfully, Koo makes this room a little bit better until he realized, oh shit, yep, water. And this is probably the worst water section in the game for Koo. I do hate how they're mean enough to put this guy right here just to make sure you don't want to get that suit damn quickly. No, I'm not dealing with you. Because this is the section that you're probably going to lose your bird friend, because you're going to be dealing with a maze full of water, and these frog bastards, and fish that will home onto you. And unfortunately, Ku will lose his ability, and Kirby will be reduced to a bubble gum. Or a bubble gun, I should say. So all I gotta say is try to find your way through this maze as quickly as possible if you're a flying bird, because this is the room of 1,000 cuts, or in this case 1,000 frogs. Man, I really am hating these damn frogs and fish. Yeah, the fact that Ku cannot do a damn thing except take damage unless you're really precise with your flying swimming movements. You'll be fine. Oh god, of course, until you get that part. And the thing that sucks about Kirby with Ku is, like, you can't blow downwards. This is the, like, the actually worst room for Kirby and Ku ever. Thankfully, it's over. Thankfully, we can just fly the hell out of here. And then run into the first enemy we see. Oh shit, now I got propeller bombs. And yeah, this room's not great for Ku either, because you have updraft, Bronjo Burts, and thank god we're getting out of this mess. You know what? As much as I want you around, bud, I just want to grab these things. Make sure I'm topped up for the boss fight, because, well, actually, before we even do the boss fight, gotta consider the whole rainbow drop thing. Good, good. Now Kirby's just incredibly topped off on caffeine and sugar, but first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do the step program. It's gonna be a 6-step program to get this damn rainbow drop. So step 1 is to collect everyone's favorite fish real quick. Excuse me, Masher, I need this real quick. Boom. Step 2, get through this damn level with Kine. That was weird, but we need to swim to the far left here, and this is important. You really do want to have Kine for this. Good. So this is step 3. Please take this thing with you. Please take Spark. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's freaking Kine with a light bulb in his mouth. You'll be fine. But you need to then go back down here and head to the right. Thankfully, if you're Kine, you won't have to worry about losing this ability, because this ability is the most crucial part of this process. If you do not have... Well, we're losing it here. If you do not have Spark by the end of this fight, there is a scary, scary problem that you're going to have to consider redoing things for. And don't grab Stone. Stone's bad Billy anyway, even if it is Rick at the helm. But you want to have Spark and Rick by this room. See you later. Because this is the only way you're going to kill these Shotzos. This is the reason why they put Shotzos in the room, because they're one of the few invincible enemies in the game. Then you get Ku. This is step 4, by the way. I'm starting to lose track here. So step 1, get Kine. Step 2, yeah, it's step 5, actually. Step 5, get Ku through this mess and into this door. Highly recommend you drop the ability for some ammo. Ow. Because, WoW is going to cause some issues. Come on, WoW, be generous, bud. Come on, stop flash kicking, throw over, thank you. And this is where you find Cutter, and the only way you're going to get Cutter is flying into that room with Ku, keeping Ku, because if you mess up, problems. And Ku makes this section a lot more treacherous for some reason. You would think it would be easier, but just having to deal with the high-hanging Gordos is traumatizing. But boom, we get our damn rainbow drop. Thank goodness. It's a nice orange sherbet color, and kind of makes me want to consider eating that later. But for now, say goodbye to the stage, say hello to some health, hopefully, and yep, get it. Good. Granted, we won't be needing you, buddy, but at the very least, Ku was fun to have around. But now we're going to be taking on everyone's favorite eyeball. It's Kracko. He's back! And yeah, he's kind of scary. Like, he has some pretty nifty attacks. But this is the thing. It's not just Kracko you have to put up with. It's Kracko and friends. Yeah, Kracko Jr. is back. And Kracko and Jr. is probably the more tricky part of this fight, because it is a two-stage battle. And one thing that Kracko Jr. has... Whoa, okay, that was new. He has that attack, but that's not the only thing he does with his floating, I guess, orbs of death. He also will do a nice four-way attack with them, which is kind of pretty neat, honestly. I kind of like Kracko Jr. And it's kind of a shame we don't see him more, because he's got some pretty sweet attacks here. Like, come on, do your other attack. No, I said the other attack. And Kracko Jr. is not being very cooperative here, so hold on as we show off Kracko Jr.'s other attack. Ow. Hey, Kracko Jr., come on, there you go. Yeah, when he starts flying low, that means he's going to try to consider... Oh, you're just gonna keep doing that. Okay, fine. We'll just let the video pop up, show what else you can do. But this is the main thing. He turns into his final form, which is Kracko, just Kracko. And he has some new attacks to deal with. Like, for one, you'll see this later in the later Kirby game, where he just tried to bombard you with lightning bolts. But he has a... Whoa, don't forget about the swoop. He definitely still has that. This is the attack that you're going to have to see quite a bit, where he just shoots out lightning bolts in a number of directions, and just stays at, like, in a sentry-like position. But once you get used to his attacks, it's not that bad. Like, I would say Kracko Jr. is the more threatening part of this fight. But when he's in the center of the room, you're going to have to jump.
Okay, can you actually be a cooperative cloud here, buddy? I would love to have the chance to hit back. Or miss entirely. Jeez, man. Yeah, Kracko is definitely a time waster. But if you're consistent with your attacks and very mindful of what you might be hitting...
Maybe if I fly up in the air, you might consider... Yep, that's a good way to flush them out. Oh. Yeah, if you want to flush these guys out a little bit more, staying high, close to the ceiling, he has to do this attack. There's no way he can reach you. Come on. Yep, there we go. Problem is you might lose one of them in the process, because they'll just fly off the screen.
But I have to say, I like when Kracko has a little bit more than just, you know, a cloud that does a swirling beam attack, because that was kind of boring. This is a lot more involved. This makes you move around the battle arena a lot more, and it just fits him more. Wow, you are going straight from one attack to another. Can you actually give me something to inhale here, buddy? Come on.
Come on, Kracko. Stop being an asshole. Thank you. Get the hell out of here with this noise, jeez. Yeah, Kracko, I like him, and I like this boss fight, but I feel like he just hit the cloudy version of him needed more attacks to make it more interesting, but good effort. But before we go to that ominous-looking castle, let's go back and talk to the bonus stage real quick, because it's the last bonus chance you have to do in this game. But it can be kind of tricky, because you're going to be moving around this entire arena and grabbing stars while dodging Co-Krackos, these little eyeball-like things. And the scary part is when you have a thing trying to pop out of the cloud, you don't know if it's a Co-Kracko or not, and you really need to be on top of these stars as soon as they pop out, because if you aren't, well, you might have a risk of losing them immediately, because once they land in the cloud, they're gone. They will not come back. And you can't just stay on these little cloud geyser effects, otherwise you might end up hitting a Co-Kracko. Not fun. Good job, Kirby. Wow, 47 lives, man. That's crazy. Now, here's the thing. If the next video has a different set of lives, let's just say this. I recorded the rest of the game, and then I realized that part 6 of this video series kind of had a crappy commentary, so I redid it. So if that's making you weird at all, or if this feels weird at all, I understand, but that's basically what happened. So next time, we're going to understand why King Dedede abandoned Dreamland and put a castle in the frickin' sky. And trust me, this castle's got some nasty surprises for you. But for now, let's wave goodbye to Kirby in this video. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and adios.